Now, are you thinking that I've lost the plot, or that maybe this is a 2-year-old video, or that maybe you've traveled back in time 2 years and are now seeing these events unfold regarding a prominent legal situation that happened in Minneapolis? No, no, no. This is a new incident. Terrifying moment. Female conservative Buffalo University student is hunted down by woke mob, screaming "No justice, no peace" after she invited prominent black Republican to speak. Yeah, this is a new incident that happened not that long ago. Hello and welcome back. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. Please watch the video to the very end. That does seem to help the algorithm more than anything. I don't advertise this channel other than to you guys, so I mean, sharing it is always something that I do appreciate. I do appreciate everybody supporting my work, period. If you're a supporter of me, great. We are on Rumble now. I'm going to be posting this on Rumble, and I'm going to be getting up onto Odyssey. We'll get Subscribe Star going as well. So all that stuff can happen, and maybe I could be a more prominent YouTuber. But let's get into this article here about Lieutenant Colonel Allen West and Therese Purcell. So if you don't know who Lieutenant Colonel Allen West is, he is a black man, and he seems to be pretty level-headed, pretty reasonable. He just says, hey, you know, I want freedom, I want this, I want that. I'm sure I disagree with him about some things. I don't know. I don't remember all of the things that he has said. But I think he's pretty conservative, and I'm not really that conservative. I'm really not, especially on economic issues. I'm more liberal. But I'm sure he has his mind made up about most of the stuff that he thinks. I don't think you'd be able to convince him otherwise. But he does seem to be, like I said, he's against the woke. He wants to shut down the border. He wants to stop insane people from changing their child's gender before they're adults, etc. He wants to do all the things that I agree with. So I can count him as an ally in this fight, even though I might disagree with him sometimes. You're never going to agree with anybody all of the time. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? I'm sure there's probably somebody out there in the world that will agree with you on every single thing, but there's probably only one other person. Let's get into this article. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West was the speaker for an event at the University of Buffalo on Thursday called "America is Not Racist: Why American Values Are Exceptional." During the Q&A session, protesters began chanting and banging on the walls. West was escorted by police out of the event as protests continued outside. Therese Purcell, University of Buffalo student and president of the Young Americans for Freedom, was with West and the police escort when she became separated. She said the protesters chased her into the bathroom where she hid for hours. The University at Buffalo Police Department is investigating reports of harassment. One just question here that's niggling at me. Why didn't the protesters go into the bathroom after this Therese girl? Maybe it was one of those smaller bathrooms where she could lock the door? Maybe. I don't know. So they just assumed that somebody was in there using it instead of she was hiding in there? A University of Buffalo student said she was hunted down by a woke mob screaming "No justice, no peace" after she invited prominent black Republican Lieutenant Colonel Allen West to speak on how he overcame racism. Well, there's no overcoming racism, really. I mean, there's no real racism in the United States anymore. There's not. I mean, I'm sure there are some times when your life has been hindered because of racism, slightly. That's true for every different race in this country. I have had racist things happen to me, okay? You don't overcome racism. You just live with it and move on. If it exists, it exists. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Get on with your life. Allen West appears to be a very successful man. I mean, he is a lieutenant colonel, so did serve in the military, and he's very well spoken. If you haven't seen him, I would suggest looking him up. He's been on Tim Pool a couple times. I think I've seen him somewhere else too. Therese Purcell, president of the Young Americans for Freedom, a campus club that organized the event, said she and her fellow members only wanted to bring these open dialogues of racism to campus. Right. This is all just about communication, but these whiny little brats, these disgusting little turds that we saw in the video, who are some of the richest people in the world, mind you. I mean, if you're a citizen in this country and you have a home that you live in that is like, you know, got all the modern conveniences that our homes have these days, you are richer than most of the people who have ever lived on this planet, most of the people who are living on this planet today. You realize that we're all worried about this Ukraine thing that's happening right now. Most of the people in Ukraine are poorer than the poor people in the United States. That's just the reality of it. People don't have as much in other parts of the world as we have here. And these people are complaining about, oh my God, he said bad words, I don't like it. He's evil because he disagrees with me. He's hurting me. He's hurting the whole world. And yes, I mean, you could make the argument that the Republican Party does deny global warming, and that will lead to the death of everything that we know and love. I don't know if global warming will get to that point, or if we will find ways of mitigating it, etc., etc. I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, that is an argument you could make. Moving back to the article. Protests erupted after the Fill to Capacity event, leading to an angry mob that chased Purcell, leaving her afraid of what would happen if she wasn't able to hide from them. Wow. She shared terrifying footage of the incident online and says it left her fearing for her life. Huh. Let's see if we can find that footage online. Let's see, down here. We'll go down to... yeah, so this is Therese Purcell. Look at that. She's cute. What's she, like 19, 20 years old? And you want to hunt down and lynch this young lady just because she wanted to have a different view brought onto the campus. A place of learning. A place where you're supposed to entertain different ideas. Okay, this video down here, I'm going to play some of this. See if I can get to the good spot in it. Like right there, they said Purcell. And so, yeah, they're chasing after Purcell. Another thing that happened in this video back here. Let me see if it's right here. Yeah, here. So you're looking at like 2:45 in the video. I'll leave a link to this article down below. You can find the video. The student that we just saw talking briefly, in her vast intelligence, she says, "If America's so great, if America's so wonderful, perfect, whatever, something like that, then how come lynching just now became illegal? Lynching just now became illegal. It just became illegal. Newsflash, imbecile. Lynching has been illegal for a very long time. It just now became a federal hate crime. Durr. You people are so insane. Lynchings in the United States since 1865. Why are they using 1865? Because for the first part of our nation's history, lynching was different than it is after the Civil War. Right here, we got to read this. This is important. Lynching has been a major component in racial violence in the United States since the end of the Civil War. Racial violence since the end of the Civil War. Before then, or at least earlier in America's history, lynching was perpetrated mostly against white people. Shocking. I know. I used to have statistics on this. I can't find them. Unfortunately, I'm getting this out very late at night on Thursday, so I didn't have time to look and find these statistics to show you. I apologize for not being more prepared for this video. But yeah, it was done to white people, and then it slowly switched over to being more a crime against black people. Murder has been illegal in this country forever. Assault has been illegal in this country forever. Kidnapping has been illegal in this country forever. Those are three things that are involved in lynching. Oh, it's just now illegal because we finally made it a federal hate crime, even though it's not a hate crime. It's been done. It gets done to every race. This video here that we saw of these students hunting down a white girl proves my point. These people make me sick. All of these students in here that were shown in the video chasing after Therese Purcell, all of them should be arrested and expelled, imprisoned as well, for participating in a hate crime. They say it themselves. It's got to be a hate crime. It's a federal hate crime. They need to be arrested, imprisoned, expelled. They're not gonna. I mean, the school probably won't expel them unless it has to, because that's money in their pocket. But at the very least, they should be all 100% expelled from school. If I had it my way, things would go a lot farther than that. But unfortunately, the world doesn't operate on rationality. It seems to be operating on fifis any more than anything. This woman right here was the one leading the chant, if you didn't notice that in the video in the beginning. Purcell barely escaped the mob as she was pulled into the bathroom by a friend where they called 911. Now, this was a men's bathroom, so that might be why they didn't find her. But Purcell added that even inside the bathroom, she heard the mob yelling that I'm assuming this is supposed to be they need to find her. I'm very afraid of what would have happened if I hadn't been able to avoid them. She said one person in the Freedom Club or something, part of this event, part of putting it on, was assaulted severely. I'm not just like, oh, they got punched once. No, they were like knocked down and kicked or something. I don't know. It's not like, I don't think it was terrible. I don't know all the details, but yeah. I don't think they were going to do anything remotely peaceful, Purcell told Fox. They were a very angry mob. They were clearly saying that they were trying to chase me, that they wanted to capture me. Purcell spoke on Monday about the terrifying moment. She says she was hunted down, which made her afraid for her life. No kidding. Yeah, it's got to be terrifying. I wouldn't want to go through that. Tensions rose during the Q&A session just following the speech made by Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. If you don't know who he is, there he is right there. Looks like a very reasonable, upstanding citizen, doesn't he? Looks like a good man. Does anybody put it in the comments if you disagree with me? He looks like an upstanding citizen. He looks like a level-headed, reasonable fellow who just wants to do right by himself and his family without hurting other people. And that's what he looks like. I'm not saying that that's who he is, but that's what he looks like. So inside the building began protesting and yelling, along with hundreds of others who had gathered outside for the event. Wow, jeez. While they were screaming that we were trying to silence black voices, we were actually trying to bring this conversation to campus, Purcell said. But instead of asking questions, they resorted to violence. Right, exactly. So these people are like, no justice, no peace. That's what they keep chanting, no justice, no peace. Here it is. A black man has a platform. This black man who's appeared on nationwide broadcasts has the platform. This black man who's proving to you that you can do what he did, that you are at a university where you can learn to be a doctor. I don't know what they teach at Buffalo, University of Buffalo. A doctor, a lawyer, architects, whatever they teach there, you can become a professional who rises to the top financially in the wealthiest country in the world and have more than most anybody's ever had in the history of humanity. But nope. There was a time when it was unfair in this country for black people. Therefore, we have to kill everybody who's not black or who disagrees with us in this case. Jeez. West, 61, is a retired U.S. Army lieutenant colonel and former chairman of the Republican Party of Texas. Was escorted out of the event surrounded by police, but was met with even more protesters. Purcell, who was with West, said there were hundreds of protesters screaming at them, and she quickly became separated when the mob got in between her and the police who were protecting West. She said that's when she decided to turn around and walk peacefully back to her car, but the mob began to target her, urging one another to capture her. That's illegal. What the hell is wrong with you people? Just so... People do not live in reality anymore. They think that the TV and movies are how things should function in the real world. You don't go around capturing people. It's called kidnapping. What the... Purcell said the mob moved on to hunt down other members of the club and claims they physically assaulted one of the board members by kicking and punching him. There you go. I didn't think it was going to be as controversial to say on an American campus that American values are a good thing. Purcell said, well, yeah, where have you been the last 10 years? This is what this is all about. These people disagree with America. The University of Buffalo Police Department told 7 News that it is investigating reports of harassment filed following the campus event. The University of Buffalo issued a statement on Friday confirming that the school is also conducting a thorough review of the protests. You need to be protesters right here is what you need to be doing, school. These events do not define who we as a university are, nor do they define who we aspire to be, said Barbara Ricotta, UB Dean of Students. Well, if you let these students slide on this behavior, then it is this mob. If you let this mob slide on that, yeah, then you're about lynching and you don't think it's a hate crime. That's what it's all about, right? You got to think it's a hate crime, otherwise it's not illegal. As a university community, we will continue to strive to be a place where all students can express themselves, be heard, and live their lives in a welcoming and safe environment that values diversity and inclusion. Yeah, diversity and inclusion needs to stop. This is clearly what is happening here. We need to stop with diversity and inclusion, peaceful divorce. Look, if you want to be a part of, the insanity, then hey, you go be part of the insanity. I'm going to hole up over here where people are sane. Now, does that mean I'm going to get everything I want? No, of course not. I'm not going to be getting everything that I want in the world because I do disagree with some of the things, many of the things that what is now becoming the conservative point of view claim to want. But at least I'm willing to go, hey, look, we need to have a talk about it. We need to have a conversation about this. Okay? This comes down to we got to figure this out. We got to talk about this and figure it out instead of going out and trying to lynch college students because I disagree with them or the people that they invite on a campus. So ridiculous. This is going to, something is going to bring all of this to a head here. As you can see, this change happening in the abortion laws in the country, I think is what is going to divide the country. I think this is going to be the final straw that does divide the country because you're just going to see, like, look, we can't have you traveling to these states to get abortions, so you're going to have to stay here. Or if they do let you travel, it's fine. You can let you travel there to get an abortion, but that's your choice. And it's just going to become a different country. It's just going to become like states that agree with abortion and states that disagree with abortion, and that's how it's going to come down to, I think. And I think that's where we're headed. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. That's just what it seems like right now to me. Maybe you have thoughts on that, and you can leave them in the comments below. That's all I got for this time. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.